What's up, everyone? I met a lot of people who ask what they can bring and cannot bring when they self-surrender to federal prison. The following is my top 5 item checklist for you to make your initial stay a bit less daunting and horrific. First off, don't plan on packing a suitcase. You're not going to need that. And they are going to charge you to send it home. There are a few things that you can bring with you or send to yourself. When you first self-surrender, you'll have nothing. They'll put you in SHU or solitary confinement for about 14 days. This is because of COVID. Keep in mind, it is not a guaranteed number. I know facilities that make you stay in there for 21 days. Others will simply move you when they're ready. This is extremely stressful, especially for people who have never been incarcerated. In order to make the situation a bit more tolerable, I recommend that the following 5 items should be sent or brought, preferably by you, so that you know that they will actually be coming. 1. Your contact list. You will want to save a list with the names, phone numbers, email addresses, and physical addresses of everyone you can, even if you don't think that you will have contact with them right away. Most facilities will allow you to bring this in with little to no interference. 2. Cash. Most institutions will allow you to bring in a certain amount of cash when self-surrendering. Why? Because instead of having to wait 2 weeks for money to get on your books, it'll be there instantly. Meaning, if you're lucky enough to be able to get commissary while in SHU, which, by the way, is anyone's best guess. Some facilities allow it during COVID hold, others don't. Then you can get things you need, like soap, deodorant, food, a radio, MP3 player, batteries, stamps, and envelopes. These little things will be major things when you have nothing to do at all. 3. Photos. You cannot bring photos in with you. Don't try. But you can send them to yourself. The day you turn yourself in, go on to Freeprints or Shutterfly or even Amazon and order 25 pictures of whatever it is you love the most. Trust me, you're going to want some reminders of the outside world and things that are nice while being in a cell 24/7. That's right, notice I didn't say 23 hours a day. Forget about rec. You get no rec with COVID quarantine. Or TB test. You will be in SHU for both. Do this a day or two before you turn yourself in. Look up the facility you're going to and look up on the BOP's website, specifically the inmate locator, to get your number. Memorize that number now. I cannot stress this enough. Then go to the web page for that facility to get the actual address and see the formatting that is required for mailing something to an inmate who in this instance is you. Do not send more than 25 photos. Seriously. If you do this, they'll mark it return to sender and you can forget about getting your pictures. 4. Books. So you can't actually bring books to prison, as great as that would be to pack up some of your library and bring them. You can't. The feds aren't just going to let you bring them in. You can, however, mail them to yourself before you go in using the same method that we described with the photos. You're going to want to send them to yourself from Amazon. Amazon is an approved retailer by the BOP. They shouldn't stress much about them. If you try ordering The Art of War, basically any book by Robert Greene, they're probably going to get rejected. Unfortunately, that may mean that the cop in the mailroom sends your entire order back. Just like in the photos, there's a limit. Sending more than 5 books to yourself is that limit. You want to make sure they're not hardcovers. Some facilities allow you to have hardcover books, but if you're not sure, then you're best off erring on the side of caution and not getting a hardcover book. Even if you call the facility and they say they do allow hardcover books, the cop that's in the mailroom might decide he doesn't want you to have them. So always go with soft covers. My advice is to make sure that when you pick out a book, you pick out a long one. Get one that will be able to keep you occupied for a prolonged period of time. The nice thing about a thick book is that it can also serve as a weight if you decide that you want to do some exercise. My top 5 recommended books when self-surrendering will be covered in another video. The 5th and last item is your license. Why would you need a driver's license in a federal prison? You don't. I'm not talking about your ID. I'm talking about your paperwork. Most facilities will allow you to bring your judgment and commitment, or, as it's called for the shorthand, a J&C. You may hear a different term for it, like a statement of reasons, which is something that is contained in the J&C. Essentially, this paper tells what you were convicted of, along with all your upward and downward departures, even if you're going to a camp, because you don't know who's there. You're much better off bringing your paperwork to be able to show who you are and what you did, and why you got the sentence that you got. That said, if you did tell on someone or have bad paperwork, you may not want to do this. Depending on the time you get, you may want to make an Amazon book list for future orders. I made a list of over 100 books before I went in, so my wife wouldn't have to guess what I wanted and what I liked. I'm sure you can set up a purchase for the future for yourself on Amazon as well, in case you don't have someone who can be relied upon to do this. I also highly suggest you order a few magazine subscriptions when you place your order for the books. There you have it. I hope this has been helpful for you in figuring out how to make your stay in any given federal facility a little bit less horrible. If so, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Keep in mind that regardless of what you have with you during a federal prison stay, it's gonna suck. Stay tuned for the next video. Keep learning, growing, and staying safe.